actually doing this thing and to make sure that I'm actually streaming. You'd be surprised how many times I've been like talking into the mic and saying stuff, and nothing's actually recording. Happens more times than not, and it's pretty embarrassing. But it looks like we are live. Sweet. Alright, so, yesterday, we did a lot of the A-star programming kind of stuff. We did the algorithm, and a lot of that, as I like to call it, was just a lot of theoretical programming, where we were writing a lot of code, but weren't really like doing anything. We didn't really test it. You know what I'm saying? It was just sort of, let's just, here's the algorithm, and we're just going to do that. Well, now today we're going to actually try and get this actually into, wrong file, into this build paths function to build all the paths for every one of the rooms, and actually get something to maybe happen in the game, where maybe we'll actually have some paths getting fleshed out. Now, let's see. So there's a couple little extra things of logic that have to be done with that. So this might actually be kind of a short video, because I feel like a lot of that's just a lot of extra stuff that you guys don't really need to see, because then a lot of this stuff is also going to work into the kind of logic that I worked into environmental, where it starts pulling apart file stuff and figuring out what file is what and how to build this seed. And that's boring. You don't need to see that. I'm really making that stuff up along as I go. So, God damn it, there would be a phone call as I'm talking. One moment, please. Okay, sorry about that, folks, but I am going to have to excuse myself in like 5 or so minutes, so I'll just run down what I'm going to be doing here. We're pretty much going to be fleshing out this build paths function, and we're going to get that tested in the game to see what kind of paths are actually set up. It's just going to be a lot of printouts, maybe some drawing code, but nothing too hardcore. And because this is a DLL, I'm going to run down how the DLLs are really kind of handled in Unity and C#. It's really nothing too special. I mean, if you look on the side here, it's seriously just another project that compiles to a DLL. If you set up just a managed DLL in Visual Studios, no extra stuff needs to be really done for it. You basically tell it what your first class is going to be. It's not like a C++ thing where you need to set up like entrant code or anything like that. You just keep your namespace, build your classes inside that namespace, and have at thee. You know? And then once this code is compiled, then we just need to go and just drop it right into our project. Unity goes and pulls everything apart, gets everything out, and then just like how we reference like the Unity engine and everything, we just using names, using, in this case for me, it's environmental. And then that's it. It's stupid easy, and honestly, if most people are working on larger systems, like pretty advanced AI systems, or any kind of code that you think might need to be done on separate worker threads that have nothing to do with drawing, but all about calculation, you should think about putting it into a DLL. It helps separate out your code and also improves performance. So, because a lot of stuff that gets run in a DLL is actually done off on a separate thread. Remember, DLLs in a Windows platform or even Linux and Mac run as separate kind of sub-processes on those platforms. So you get that extra speed boost of it being run on its own thread in a world where, at least back in the day, back in my day, because I'm old as shit, Unity used to not like setting up worker threads or anything of the sort. You set one of those things up and Unity just shit its pants right in front of you. I believe there is now a lot more handling for that, but to work that into your project, like directly into that code, you miss out on a lot of performance benefits of doing it in a DLL. Plus, if you're like me, you like to set up a lot of things to be modular, and Unity has its packages, yeah, but you could go and put everything into a DLL, manage it inside there, still reference the Unity engine and everything inside that DLL as well, and be able to bring that across to different platforms. Stuff to think about. Mental sugar. So, one thing I want to do in here before the phone call comes through again, then I have to go outside. I want to test this thing, And I guess the first thing I should really do is let's try a build. I don't know if I did that in the last video. I don't think I did. It was kind of late. Well, not really late, but I was kind of doing a lot of things. So let's just build. And we're building. And still building. It's the suspense that gets me. There we go. That's what I like to see. Woo! Alright. So, got that build, and really that's not going to be doing a whole lot. I mean, we could call build path. You know what? Fuck it. Let's try it. Up to, and bring me to here. Copy. Click. And bloop. Boop. Environmental. Yeah, God, Jesus. Why do I have to make that so loud every time? Okay. Give me a second. I'll be outside soon. Yeah, give me a sec. Gotcha. Bye. Boop-a-doo-doo-doo. I think there's a... Oh, God! Magnifico! There should be a button, I thought, to go and switch to like a please wait kind of thing. There you go. Stare at that for a moment. I'll be right back. Okay. Alright, I'm back. Gotta readjust my lawn chair. And there we go. Alright, pants are back off. And we're ready to code. By the way, making sure that's still on. If you are programming a game at home and your pants are not off, what the hell are you doing? Like, seriously. I mean, do you go up to your computer in a suit and tie? Do you go and, like, spruce yourself up? I think I'll do a little bit of coding today and work on business strategies and synergy. No, come on. This is fun. You gotta have fun with it. And that means pants are off. That's how it goes in my household. Don't come to my house. Anyway, I'm out of breath now. Okay. Anywho. So, I have a DLL now. It actually has a Unity Engine DLL with it, packaged with it. I don't think we're going to need that. But we do have this, and I'm going to just create a new folder. DLLs. Because why the hell not? And pop this back open, and drag and drop. And drop. There we go. Okay, so Unity is freaking out right now. As you see, we have our DLL here, and set up for any platform. So it'll all work. Cool beans. So now, all I really want to do right now is we're just going to try calling build path. Well, actually, we're going to start rewiring some of this stuff. Reload all. Because now we have grid coordinates, but we're not going to use these grid coordinates anymore. These grid coordinates are old. They're beat up. They're useless. Bye-bye. Grid coordinate class and your stupid compare function. Because now we have something better. Boop. Now everything's going to freak out. So I say using environmental. See, and it pulls it out right out of the bat. And all the issues it had with trying to figure out grid coordinates, gone. Now it knows to use ours, using the same grid coordinate comparator, and all that fun stuff. So this is now building all this stuff. And what I want to do is, when that builds, I want to go and create a path. So let's see here. This guy is setting up the directory. Blah, blah, blah. I just want to test something here. So I'm just going to really kind of just throw this in there. But I kind of need... Let's see, we just have a list of vector 3s there. Just points for where these things are. And I just want to just make a line. I'm trying to remember where all my stuff for the finish lines are. Alright. That looks good. And we're just going to do it right then here. Debug DLL. Leave that for myself because I'll remove that later. We're going to call our what did I call it? The hell's that class name? A-Star Pathfinding. I don't think I need to scope it in. So A-Star Pathfinding. So it's not finding it. Inaccessible due to its protection level. God damn it. Well, see? This is why it's good to test things. This stupid, no good, lousy... Public. Everything's public. Okay. We need a grid. We need A-Star Pathfinding. We need a grid coordinate. Everything's gotta be public. Okay. So, freaking rebuild it. Build solution. Thank you. Now those things are exposed. Debug. Open this up. Back to this. Drag. Drop. Oh, what the flying biscuit? Alright, we'll just do this. Show and explore. Yep. Yep, over here. Okay, okay. You, and you. They're all gonna die. Alright. And this. Over here. Thank you. And thank you. Thank you very much. Minimize. Minimize. Unity freaks out for a moment. Still freaking out. Still freaking out. Okay. And here we go. Good. Come back in here. Reload all. Yes, save that. There we go. A-star pathfinding, A-star. Now it finds it. And I actually don't even need to create an object for it because I made all of the methods in it static. So, what I'm just going to do is I'm going to set up a list of grid coordinates. Call it path equals A-star pathfinding dot build path. And it references a grid. Now, we don't have a grid per se set up. So I'm just going to leave that. We're just going to call it grid for now. I'll create that variable afterwards. Start is going to be our first grid coordinate in rooms. So rooms dot. Is there like an at? I can never remember anything with dictionary. Dictionary is such a good. There we go. First. Is that a function? I feel like that's a function. Are you a function? First. Yeah, first. Boop, boop. And end is going to be rooms dot last. Yeah, alrighty. Oh god, isn't it nice when things just work for you? So we're just going to build a path going from the first one to the last one. I still need a grid. We have something in here called grid. Well, we kind of do. See, I used a dictionary for a grid coordinate and our string. We call that the rooms. That's the rooms. Now, I can set up a grid. And we'll just add to the grid. Do I have add functions to the grid yet? See, the grid I really didn't flesh out too much of. Yeah, there's no add function. It just sort of sets up number of columns, number of rows, and just figures it out from there. Oh, excuse me. Since we're just testing right now, I'm probably just going to set up some debug variables at the moment. And we'll just get this going along. Grid, string, rooms, blah, blah, blah. Let's have a thing set up for how many columns. See this coordinate mod? Well, in here, I go and mod a file name hash code and the file code, which is kind of the seed that I generate. Got the hash code of that, mod it by these. So really, it gives us something going from -10 to +10. So our rows and columns are 20 by 20. Which makes this a little weird. Because basically, in here, see, I'm finding these bugs now as I punch the microphone. That these guys aren't based around that. Yeah, there are 20 columns. Yeah, there are 20 rows. But accessing them, you can't really pass in a -5, -5 into the grid. They're all in an array. P.S. Okay, you. Build path references the grid. And it pulls out all the other areas inside the grid. Our grid needs some work. So let's work this thing over. So our grid's going to be kind of a lookup table of all the grid coordinates that we can go and put together. And we have to go and set this thing up to be the center point is always 0, 0. we can go negative in the grid, and we can go positive in the grid. How could I do that? How can I make this thing reference grid points that are at negative spots? Basically, it's going to be saying that a grid, let's just make a little pseudocode here, that a grid that goes from -10, -10, all the way to +10, +10. Altogether, that's going to create, 20 columns and 20 rows. So grid chord, the array, would be 20, 20. And we're going to need an offset. And when you go and pass into the grid to go and get a grid coordinate, that's going to have to say, okay, well, translate this over using an offset. So offset by 10 gives us the advantage of being able to say, okay, so when I go get at -1 and 2, that's going to say alright, -1 plus offset, which is 10, equals 9, and 2 plus offset equals 12. Wouldn't actually add too much to any extra operations. Grid's going to have to be redefined a little bit to include an offset. And even this stuff, like I create a constructor specifically to handle the actual rooms list that I have up here. Well, actually, it's more of a dictionary, but I can get a list of the frickin' rooms. Shut up. But I can pass that in, and it'll go and construct the damn thing. Using room X and room Y. I'm going to need to set an add function. Okay, let's do this. Enough talking about it. Private int. We're going to do 2 separate offsets because we might want to have grids that are going to be not perfectly square. Offset X equals 0. And offset Y equals 0. Don't ask me why I do this. I've had a couple debates with some people at work about initializing variables. And I initialize all my variables, even if it seems a little tedious. Like, even strings. And C++ strings, by default, automatically default to an empty string. But even in my code, I still set it equal to an empty string. Just because it's like a paranoid twitch, where if I just left this like that, that bugs the shit out of me right now. I'm actually kind of a little fidgety. Who's to say programmers don't have their quirks? You have quirks, alright? Maybe you need to think about that. What do people think about the quirks you have, alright? So don't cast no stones, buddy. Yell at your audience, Keith. That's a great way to become Twitch famous, or YouTube famous, or famous at all. I don't know, Ricky Gervais can get by doing that. Shut up, you're not Ricky Gervais. You shut up. Who am I talking to? God, this stuff makes me insane. Anyway. So, I'm going to add offset stuff in here. In all of them. You have to include an offset. Offset X. There may be a time where I'll say, you don't have to include an offset, and we'll worry about that later. Don't worry about that right now. dot offset x equals offset x, copy paste, and y. Alright, and these guys can stay the same. It's really just going to be some of the at functions that are going to be changed. And we're going to copy all that. This guy here, I'm going to put it right here. Keep everything copacetic. Control C, Control V. So our get at functions are going to need to drastically change. And I'm actually going to create a private bounds check int x, int y, because we're going to be calling that kind of stuff frequently. Now, if y is greater than or equal to rows. Now remember, when we have that offset, it's going to be the number of rows minus the number of offsets. So rows, I should not do the accessor stuff down there. Rows minus offset y. So if it's greater than all that, so if the number of rows we have is 20 and the offset is 10, then 20 minus 10 is 10. Ta-da! Let me think about this for a sec. Hold on. Because is 10 excluded in that? Am I actually going, when indexing, am I going from negative 10 to positive 10, or am I going negative 9 to positive 9? See, that doesn't seem right. Negative 10, negative 9, negative 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's actually going to 9. So yeah, that's right. Okay. Arithmetic! I know it! Bullshit. Anyway. So if it's greater than rows minus 10, or if y is less than now I do offset y minus rows. There needs to be logic added to make sure that offset is not greater than or equal to the number of rows, but I'm not worried about that right now. I'll tackle that later. You guys don't need to worry about that, but keep that in a mental note that if offset's greater than rows, the whole thing's fucked. So, offset's 10, rows is 20. 10 minus 20 makes negative 10. And return false. Else if Esley. Actually, that's a beautiful name. I think I'm naming my daughter that. Hi, Elsie. Daddy, how are they named? Well, you see, I can't fucking type, and I tried typing in else if, and your name came out. Where are you going, honey? Why won't you talk to me anymore? Is that a tattoo? You're 12. I'd make a terrible father. Or maybe I won't. I don't know. I feel like that's something that you can't just assume. You kind of have to jump in and then find out later that the reason your daughter's doing heroin for crack is she does heroin for crack. That's how messed up this thing is. And you realize that, maybe I might be at fault for this. I guess I was a bad father. I don't know. Teaching your kid to shotgun beers at age 5 is not the best parenting advice I can give. They'll be pretty bitchin' though. Great at parties. Hey Tommy, show them your trick. Oh yeah, he did it! Holy shit! 5 seconds. Damn, kid. This is terrible advice. Terrible advice. Anything I'm saying on this channel should just be ignored. Even like, I'm giving a tutorial right now and I'm telling you how not to raise your kid, but saying that it'd be great if you'd raise them this way. Bad. It's bad. All bad. Anyway. Got a mustache hair in my mouth. That's cue to shut the fuck up. So we have this bounce check function. So now I'm going to change this if check here to if bounce check xy equals false to return null. We're also going to create now public. We'll return a bool on this one. Add. And it's just going to take a grid chord. Chord. If bounce check. Chord. Dot x. Chord. Dot y. Equals false. Return false. Else. Oh yeah, that's right. We have to. Aha! Almost forgot something there. So x. Let me think here. So if I'm placing this thing at, if I want to place it at 0, then it needs to be placed at 10. Yeah, we got this. Offset y. Okay. Boop. Okay, and we'll set that equal to chord. And then return true. So that's our add function here. And for this up here, that's all I'm going to be calling. I'm just going to be calling add room. I'm not going to do any printouts. This is probably going to kick me in the ass later. But we're just testing right now. The whole purpose of this video is testing and testing some more. Work out stuff after. Okay. So let's build solution. Ta-da. And probably just a note, you'll see that I'm debugging for well, I'm building for debug to keep all the debug symbols. Later, you're going to want to probably do a release one, which will get compiled with the game. I'm pretty sure if I went and tried to build in Unity, excuse me, that this would all probably slap me in the face. Deservedly so. Debug DLLs, drag and droop, copy and replace. I think that's done. Please hold. Your call is important to us. Okay. Now let's go back to here. Save, because that was not saved, and God forbid should I lose power. Ah, here I am. No? No, I'm not. Yeah, here I am. Okay, okay. So we're going to create a new grid. 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 Equals new. Grid. And we're going to do columns 20. Rows of 20. Offset 10. Offset 10. And how am I going to get these rooms? The key is the grid cord. So, we just pass in the keys. Pass in the Florida keys. Cannot convert from generic dictionary key collection to some kind of list. We'll see if there is a to list. Please let there be. Yeah. Alright. Aruba, Jamaica. Ooh, I wanna take you. What? Cannot convert from key value pair. Oh, it did. Oh. Oh. That key. That key. And ref. Save. Now, I'm gonna put a little breakpoint in here. I'm going to but where the fuck do you put breakpoints anymore? Thank you. Jesus. Alright. I'm gonna say attach to Unity. There are build errors. No. Build errors. You're not even saying there are errors. UAE is equipped. What? Where am I using a UAE? Is a drone somewhere nearby? Let's try this again. No. No. Oh, wait a minute. Could not be resolved because it has indirect dependency on the .NET framework, assembly, blah blah. The version 4, then the version 2 in the current target framework. Let's see. Let me try. We're not going to attach to Unity at the moment, but since we are referencing it, I'm just going to hit this play button. And yep, there you go. There you go. Unhandled exception, reflection to load exception. Class of the module cannot be loaded. Here, just clear everything. And so it's not actually compiling the damn thing, because I think this. Here's something set up with the DLL that's probably wrong. Let's open up solutions. Can I edit the solution? Properties? Configuration properties? Configuration? No. It's probably set up to the wrong version of .NET, which I know Unity uses like a version back, so this could kick me in the dick. Oh, shit. Wait a minute. Here we go. Now properties. Dependencies, project environmental. Blah, 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 blah. Duh. Shit. Shit. Configuration manager. Nope. Shit. Project. And new project reference to the environmental properties. Okay. Okay. Application. Build resources. Nope. Services. Nope. Settings. Okay. References, signing, code analysis. I think it has to deal with settings, but I'm not even sure on that. Here we go. Target framework. What did it say it wanted? It wanted 2? Let's try this one. Yes. I just changed it to Unity 3.5.NET full base class libraries. And let's try and build. Oh, Christ. Oh, threading. Yeah, just included that stuff in there. Hold up. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, so that's another thing you need to make sure you add for when you include the Unity Engine DLL into Visual Studios to go and create a DLL. Make sure you change the target framework to the Unity 3.5. Wait a minute, that's Unity 3.5. Unity 3.5? Unity 3.5. We're up to Unity 5 now. You know what? I'm not going to dick around. Let's check over on my side computer here and figure out what needs to be set. Using DLL, Visual Studios. Step-by-step guide for Mono Develop and Visual Studios. Okay, at this stage we'll have the options to select the required DLL file. On Windows, it is Program Files, Unity, Editor, Data Managed, Unity DLL. And then they just go into the code. And first you should prepare the debug symbols for the DLL file. Give me a second. Gotta figure out Unity DLL target framework. I was compiling for Mono Develop and hope this isn't from 2009. Here we go. Because Mono Develop is compiling for .NET 4.0 framework, even though I have the target framework set for 2.0. Well, that's kind of like the error that we're getting in Unity, where it's saying that, no, it was in here? It was somewhere. I'll figure it out. Saturday 4.0 and supported. Another tidbit of information. Given the options for .NET 2.0, it seems strange as runtime supported 2.0. Blah. It does not use .NET. It uses Mono, which is not the same thing. The version of Mono includes some of the 4.0 features. Certainly not all of them. I've been targeted for building using the minimal amount of features possible. The only reason I'm targeting for, not 3.5, is that I like to use default function arguments. Let's try this. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling frisky. Error cannot be resolved. Let's see what happens. It built it. We just have some warnings. May God have mercy on my soul. Please don't fuck me. Ooh. I don't feel fucked. Touch the Unity? Yeah, alright. So now we're attached to it. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to hit play, and it's going to stop on that breakpoint when it hits it. I still have the thing set for using my downloads directory. There we go. Okay, so this path is null. Shit. Why is path null? The opposite of what build path is supposed to be doing. Let's check everything. Non-public members, the grid, digital frontier, everything in here. Nope, not everything's null. Okay, fills them out as we go along here. Good. Very nice. Okay. And rooms first key. Let's just check out rooms. First would be this guy, and last would be. You see these weird characters on the side? That's actually my seed code. And that is. Oh, that's not just raw view. Okay. Oh, that's an unused V. So we'll return all that stuff. Yeah, sure. But it's not doing the path right. Well, gang, looks like we have a mystery on our hands. I hit continue. There's everything there. Stop this. Go back. Come down here. I'm going to switch this back to documents just so it's faster. Stop. Thank you. Stop up. Save. Okay. Alright, we have something wrong. It tells me that everything I told you guys yesterday was just a web of lies. Haha, take that, fuckers. Now, I did talk about like debugging this stuff here. Which, let's look at this. Setting up a debugging session for DLL. Firstly, you should prepare the debug symbols for the DLL in MonoDevelop. Or DLL in MonoDevelop. Copy the built file, project folder. One sec. Into the asset plugins folder. In project folder as a parameter, and copy the file. Oh god, that's a lot. And it looks like in order to debug the exact code in here, you kind of need to go and do it in MonoDevelop, which I'm not a fan of. That's why I use Unity or Visual Studios here. Which, you know, if it was up to me, I'd probably use something else, but why is path null? What would have made path null? Well, we're calling build path here. Paths in our start and our end. How do I do a printout? Oh yeah. I remember there having to be something really weird and funky. If you wanted to print out something in a DLL into Unity. That's going to be kind of boring to go over, isn't it? Let's see if we can piece this together. If I can't figure this out initially, then I'm going to come back in another video with this already figured out. And just go over what we've done, because I'm pretty sure one thing that you can do is you can get um, console printouts from your DLL into Unity, but is kind of a weird, wonky way of doing that, and you kind of need someone developed a class for it that you can go and download and put in there. And I'm not going to go over how to install this class on it. That's just stupid. But if I do find it, which I should, I'll make sure to put it up here. Let me just yeah, the first thing you see when doing a Google search for a Unity DLL debug log is how to redirect from system console out to Unity's log writer. And it's just it's just basically you create another class. Let me look at this here for a second. Hold on. Wait a sec. One second here. Hold on. Let me just look at something here. Haha! Because I include the fucking Unity engine. Ah, that's brilliant. Okay. Never fucking mind about what I was saying before. It was all bullshit. Okay, so debug that log. Finding path for. I remember I did my 2 strings for these guys, so they'll just instantly come out with what I want to say. 2 end. For start to end. Now I'm just going to start pumping out debug logs all over this thing. Debug log. Closing path. That was not the case, then. Finding next point. Added to path. Okay. So I just set up some simple debugs in there. I should see some stuff be very, very nice to me, I hope. And I'm just going to build. We're going to do our prisoner exchange. Whoop. And we're going to let Unity freak out for a moment. Ah! That's the sound of it freaking out. Clear. There's a null reference exception here. to an instance of an object. Build path, grid, start, end. Ooh. We may have something bigger on our hands. Maybe a null just floating around in there. But we'll find out. I hit play. Ah. See, I should have checked that before. But this is definitely going to help me out. So, it's gave me finding path for 0 to 8-4, which was our very last one. Where is 8-4? I'm not even sure who that would be. He's positive like 8 and 4 up. So I imagine it's this guy. And then he says, finding the next point, and shits his pants. Okay. So we have an idea. I like having ideas. Wrong file. Boop. Okay. Finding next point. I felt a burp coming on, but it didn't want to come out. Set up the cost. Now, this get path cost. Checking to see if the coordinate does not equal null. If it does not equal null, then we set up a new coordinate based on distance coordinate end. If it is null, then we return null. I don't think that would be the issue. Maybe the issue is in here, but we check to see if it's null. Remember how I had that little note there? If least debug.log we done goofed. Because I'm checking my null checks in here, and all my null checks check out, which makes this a bit infuriating. Basically, I'm saying if the cost is equal to null, then we just continue. We just skip that cost. If least is equal to null, then we set that to the first cost, which, if it was null, then we just exit it out and continue. And then we do the check on the cost. To get at north, south, east, west. If visited contains any of those, which visited is set to this thing, but he's empty. North, south, east, west. I wonder if it's failing on contains. I'm going to add some unnecessary logging. Say checking visited. Visited checked. North. North, north, north. South. East. West. Okay. Let's build this again. Cool, cool. Prisoner exchange. Bloop. Shitting pants. I'm sorry. Clear this out because I don't want any bullshit left over. And let's see what fails. Are you fucking kidding me? The message I didn't want to see. The part where I said, hey, here's a note that if least is null, then we just totally fucked. Totally fucked. It's also interesting is visited checked. Oh, thanks. Visited checked is here. You didn't print out anything. I think they were all null. I remember I said basically we backed ourselves into a corner. Visited checked, and we're just gonna do this. N slash N slash N slash N. Alright. To do a weird sort of printout. Is north? Is north. Else. No. Well, it's unequal null. North dot to string. Oh boy, this is gonna look nasty. South, east, west. South, south, east, east, west, west. All right. Set all that up. Because there might even be something wrong with this. And I'm going to go in. We're going to add debug lines to each one of these. Debug up. I'm even checking that one. Checking cost. Cost is null. Continue. This is null. Setting to cost. Continue. Please set to cost. Continue. Well, really no continue there. Nothing. Move along. There we go. I have this burp building up, and I'm just going to let out this really raunchy one in a second. It's going to happen, and hopefully when it does happen, I'll figure this shit out. So let's build. Debug. DLLs. Boop. Poop. clear and play. Now, visited checked. They were all null. Each one of them returned back null. Shit. And these happened 4 times. Cost is null, so nothing happened. I gotta add some handling for that. But the fact of the matter is, they shouldn't have returned null like that. So I think there's something wrong with my get at code. So let's go back to the grid. And get at does bounce checking on X and Y. If the bounce check returns false, which basically is saying that someone is outside of their range, then return null, else return that grid point. Else return that grid point. Fuck. I'm an idiot. See, the fun thing about the grid here. God, I can't believe I didn't see this before. Let's attach this to Unity. You're gonna see what I'm talking about here in a sec. I'm gonna hit play. Okay, the grid has been set up to have those rooms in it. The grid has those rooms, but everything else in between is fucking null. I'm a jackass. Ugh. Dumb. Okay. Alright. Nah. Thinking about the best way to handle this. I could A, go and fill in all those with grid points. Or with grid coordinates. They really just contain nothing in them except for they're a grid coordinate. B, I could leave them null. And if they are null, well, it wouldn't necessarily take up too much new space or anything. But I need to go and set up something to say, here's a grid coordinate and it's erroneous. So if you get if you go and do that bounce check, instead of returning null if it should fail, return like an error coordinate. That would be like, -99, -99 or something outside your range. And then you need to do some weird checking for that, which I don't necessarily like. So, what I could do, I think what I'm going to do is just pad them all. Pad them. I'm not going for the most efficient, but padding them all will actually make sense, because then I could go and start writing things in or swapping them out. Check to see if like their element has nothing in it. Yep. Yeah, okay. Alright. And I'm going to make that default behavior. Stop. And basically in R equals 0, R is less than rows plus R for int C equals 0, C is less than columns plus C. Shit. plus C. The grid RC CR equals new grid chord x shall be C minus offset x R minus offset y, and just an empty element. I'll probably fill that in with something to say this is obviously empty. This next part's going to be a little bit inefficient, but a rat's ass I am not giving right now. Boop. Boop. Now I know this add thing is already kind of in there, and I could just go and loop through and do all that, but just do it this way. It's faster. Okay, that's going to pad everything in and fill it all in, and even with adding the rooms, we'll go and fill everything in and then just put the rooms afterwards. Boom. Okay. Build solution. Solution built. Prisoner exchange. It's not really a prisoner exchange. This guy's not gaining anything. Pants shitting contest. Unity's the winner. Oh shit, I forgot to hit stop. Stop. I've worked on some projects where not doing that crashes the entire damn thing. Which is just not fun. Not fun. Okay. Play. It didn't crash. And look at that. It actually said that there was an endpoint. Okay. Hold on, I'm getting a little excited here. Attach to Unity. Okay, we are in debug mode and play. Let's check this shit out. Path is fucking null. God damn it. What do you mean it's null? You told me you found the path. Let's check to see where I fucked up again. -10, negative, and then come all the way down, and it's over 200 elements in this. Actually, it's 20 by 20, so it's probably more than that. 99. Why is there a comma? Oh, the comma afterwards is supposed to be what the element's supposed to be, but most of these are all empty. Most of these are empty. Well, it is my documents that I used here, so why are they all fucking empty? Right? I'm not. Am I just losing my shit here? Hey, rooms. Yeah, 18 rooms. Oh. Yeah, I guess I did fuck up the whatchamacallit there. Alright, fuck it. I'm fine. So why did it come back with null? Path is still null. Oh, because we didn't step over it, you shit. Dumb guy. Continue. It hits the return, and path is now 13. Whew! I went right to the negative, you know? But going from 0 goes up to 1, 2, 3, 4. Then goes over for 1. and then starts going like a staircase up over to it and hits it. There you go. That's it. That's the test. We now have our A star actually working now with all the a couple little things that we had to throw in there. There is some stuff that I'm going to want to put in that's going to be a little bit like, But the next video I'm going to do, which will probably be sometime this week, is going to be running this path algorithm all together on everything, setting up the actual elements to be what they should be for when building these corridors, which I need to figure out how I want to format that. That's my stuff. And then laying them on top of each other and creating the actual map. And then that'll be it. That'll be the map generator right there. Everything else after that is basically just going to be placement in Unity using that grid data to go and put prefabs into those spots based on file information and some corridor information. Basically, that's again stuff I need to work out, because this game's supposed to be a little bit like Minecrafty, where it's going to be a little bit unique. It's going to be very, very rich in its world that gets created based on your file structure. And if I make it too bland, then it's just going to be whatever. So when you go from like a file, which would make a room, that was a text file, and it goes to an audio file, there should be some sort of like gradient, I feel, going between the two. And then a junction crossing over between two image files should throw a monkey wrench into that. We'll see. We'll have to see how this all goes. For now, thank you guys for joining me and seeing this all come to fruition. We have this shit working. If you're a programmer like me, seeing a variable fill itself out after doing some sort of little AI logic is rewarding in of itself. I feel rewarded. High five to myself. Booyah. That deserves a little fucking avalanche and a sip from Mr. Flask. Oh, Jesus. How long has that been sitting in there? Whew. Oh, that tingles. Oh, that tingle. Oh, the tingling. Oh, God, that's either shitty rum or the best rum ever. Okay. I'm going to go and go into a fetal position. Thank you, guys. It's cozy. Dang it.